Yeah, you're right. You're right, Josh. I should not disrespect you because last week's show went so goddamn well. Hey guys, welcome to Gambletown. And when I'm not even being sarcastic when I say last week's show went well, I apologize if you came in. I apologize if you came in and you saw that you couldn't hear anything. Honestly, we did you a favor.
Yeah,
The
no shit,
produce
man.
the producers went on
We
strike.
we did you a favor.
We shall
Unfortunately,
overcome.
yeah,
We
we
shall.
we were we were 4-11 as a show. Um, None of our parlays, none of our millie bets hit, which means by default I am still your god emperor of Gambletown. I'm
Yep.
not gonna. I forgot to do the running totals, but
I
it's
pulled them
not
up.
gonna be
I
that
took
much.
care of
Oh,
that.
did you? Oh,
Yeah,
thank you.
we are 15 and 30 the last 4 weeks, 84.99 on the year. Totals overall, Ryan 27 and 38, Waleed 30 and 34, I'm 37 and 27. Parlays,
Um,
Ryan 2 for 22, 2 and 22, Waleed 3 and 20, I am 6 and 18.
yeah.
It's the year. It's
You know
Tony's
what that
year in
you know what
Gambletown.
that means, guys. We're due.
We're all due. We're so
We are
due. I don't
so
think I've ever
due.
been more due.
Yeah, I'm as due as I've ever been, and I am ready for it. I'm here for it. And on that note, let's get this show rolling, Tony.
Yeah, let's just do it. Let's not waste any fucking time here. Let's talk about our top 5 bets of the week. I'm going to start. I'm going to go with a guy that I was saying off air. I'm laddering for the first time this year. And my first top 5 bet of the week is JSN over 91.5 receiving yards. Real quick, TLDR, I made some quick switches to the wide receiver model. It's going to be less about fantasy points per drop back against coverage and more about receiving yards per drop back against coverage because I noticed a lot of false positives for your running quarterbacks or your players like Devontae Adams who catch 2 yard touchdown passes because that's as much as 60 receiving yards. So to try to make sure that our yard stuff comes back, going with JSN this week. Look, man, Atlanta's really, really given up a ton in cover four, and JSN is him in cover four. Um, I really think that the Seahawks want to get him to 2,000 yards, and even without narrative, I think he's just going to belt to ass this week. I think he's going to crush. So,
Oh hell
bet
yeah!
bet one over 91.5 receiving yards. Jackson Smith and Jigba. Waleed, what do you got?
So my first bet of the week. Look, I love my Bears, but the one thing they're not good is stopping yards before contact. The Green Bay Packers are going to run the ball, and Josh Jacobs over 76.5 rushing yards is a great line. Like, it's going to be the Josh Jacobs show. He should be able to get to 80 yards pretty easily. Honestly, Saquon was getting yards last week against the Bears in that blowout, and they just didn't use him enough. Like,
Yeah,
I don't understand
they
why they
stopped
got away
running.
from the run.
Because Kevin Patullo's house needed more egg-related decorations.
That makes sense. Did he get his house get eggs?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. You
Like,
didn't hear about that, Wally? It
I
was
did not,
everywhere.
but it absolutely does not surprise me.
but like
Um,
he posted this whole thing that was like, "Don't fuck with my family. You cross the line if you fuck with my family." But here's the thing: the NFL's been telling me for years that football is family.
Right. Also,
So like,
also, come on, it was just eggs. It's not like they like vandalized your house like horribly,
yeah, think about how expensive eggs are, man. That's not
yeah,
a
right?
cheap prank.
like 5 years ago, they did it on the cheap. That was an investment. Like
Exactly.
that's a week's worth of breakfast that they're just not getting back. They can't afford anymore.
So Wally, you're throwing your eggs in this week at Josh Jacobs over 78.5.
I got 76.5.
7 even better. Okay,
Yeah.
love it. Ryan, your first top 5 bet of the week.
Hell yeah. Guys, this week my first one's gonna be Chase Brown, 70 or more rushing and receiving yards. I got that at minus 130. Last night, didn't check what it is currently. It's probably still around the same. That's an alternate line. Guys, Cincinnati uh, right now is going to need to run the ball to keep Josh Allen off the field if they want to try and win this game. Um, we got some good things going for Chase Brown. He has 6 straight games with 100 plus scrimmage yards. And guys, the Bills are allowing the third most rushing yards per game. I think this is a lock. I think the run game for both sides of the offenses for the Bills and Cincinnati is gonna go off, and which is why when we get to my second bet, we'll talk about that as well.
So Buffalo, over the last 4 weeks, are giving up 2.39 yards before contact, 2.28 yards after contact. They're giving up almost 5 yards per touch to running backs. When you add in the reception line, Chase Brown, great bet. I love this. One thing I forgot to mention on Josh Jacobs, Bears over the last 4 weeks, they're giving up 3.73 yards before contact.
It's a lot.
Like he's going to get Josh Jacobs getting almost 4 yards before he's even touched is concerning.
I agree.
Through the Bears.
Also, shout out to Ryan's play. It sounds like we are a lock tomorrow to have snow in Buffalo during that game. So
Hell yeah.
should see a lot of running in that game.
Yeah, and Cincinnati's giving up the most rushing yards, and Buffalo's right there.
Yeah. So, all right, cool. So my second top 5 bet of the week is, I'm telling you, JSN has done everything right this year. But these two next guys, my two last guys of the system, which went 2-0 on Thursday night, by the way. Zay Flowers is one of them. I got him at 56.5 receiving yards. Zay Flowers is an elite cover 3 beater. The Steelers are playing 12th highest cover 3 in the league. And so even though they're only playing cover 3 on 32% of their
You mean
coverage,
Justin Jefferson?
No, I'm talking about Zay Flowers.
You just talked about Zay Flowers on your first one.
No, my first one was JSN.
Oh, was it? Well, damn it! I switched the order around. Like, damn it. Okay.
No, you're good. I'm just freeballing it. And so yeah, Steelers are playing cover 3, 12th highest rate. Steelers are allowing 88 receiving yards per game when playing cover 3. So that's part of the new model. They're a top 12 defense in terms of yards. Like Lamar, dude, listen to this. Against cover 3, Lamar Jackson is 33rd in quarterbacks passing yards per game against cover 3. 33rd. So this feels like a get right spot. I know that Lamar's also been playing hurt, hopefully another week. Because it's been a long break, right? Like they played on Thanksgiving. They had an extended rest. So hoping that the stars align. This is a must win for both teams. And so I feel good about it. The system's going with it. So I'm going to go with it anyways. I'm going with Zay Flowers over 56.5 receiving yards. Waleed, what do you got?
I think it's worth noting that there were a couple of plays where, like, Lamar Jackson should have had 2 passing touchdowns, and shit just kind of went sideways. The Isaiah Likely, was it a fumble? Yeah, and then I can't remember what the other one was.
Flowers had offensive pass interference on a touchdown.
That's what it was. Yeah, exactly. Like the spots were there. That's why as frustrating as Lamar Jackson has been, I can't get away from him because he's still Lamar Jackson.
Well, and I mean, if you look at the numbers, obviously Zay Flowers ate shit last week when he was a system play. 2 catches, 6 yards, lost fumble. Had a 30-yard touchdown taken off because of offensive pass interference, and had 7 targets. So, like, he's had 11 tries and had 64 or more scrimmage yards. So I feel good about it. I like Zay Flowers this week. Like I said, must win. And so I feel good. I'm not too worried about it. All right, Waleed.
So like Ryan mentioned it earlier, I'm going to mention this again. Cincinnati Bengals, not very good at stopping the run. You know who's good at running the football though? James Cook. On the season, Cincinnati giving up 2.31 yards before contact. Look, James Cook, 98.5 rushing yards in a snow game feels like a no-brainer to a run defense that can't stop the run. So I'm just here for James Cook at 98.5.
That makes sense. Yeah. All right, Ryan, your second top 5 bet of the week.
I also went with James Cook, but I went with the rushing and receiving line of 116.5, and I did that last night, and I checked this morning. It was down to 113.5. So if you guys want to smash, I think he's good for at least 125. Honestly,
I think so too.
I'll probably go in and do like a James Cook touchdown or James Cook 2 touchdowns and 150 plus or something like that. But I'm pretty confident. Look, Kincaid out? He was probably not going to play, right?
I haven't heard definitively either way.
It actually, from what I've read, it's trending that Dalton Kincaid is going to play. Which
Okay.
I will say this:
Eh,
if Dalton Kincaid plays, play Dalton Kincaid every week.
Yeah, please
I
do.
think even if he does play, I think both teams are going to be looking at this game that they want to keep both offenses off the field, and they're going to have to run the game to do that and chew up some clock because both these offenses can be explosive and put up a
This
lot
is
of points.
like here's the thing: it's going to be snow, but it's not going to be windy, and that's really where you're worried about pass catchers. So like and that's
Sure.
and like this is going to be a good offensive game. These defenses both kind of suck. So I think there's going to be like there's a reason this is one of the highest point totals of the league.
Right.
Like and let's be honest, Dalton Kincaid playing, it's not like you're like, oh no, who's he going to take touches from? Honestly, they need someone to give the ball to. Like
Right.
part of Buffalo's struggles, I think, has been because Dalton Kincaid has been hurt, and I actually think Dalton
Sure.
Kincaid playing makes this offense better. And if this offense is better, generally that means James Cook is cooking.
I agree. I agree with that. All right, cool. My third top 5 bet of the week is my last system play. The system only hit 5 this week. It's Justin Jefferson I got it at 63.5 receiving yards. But I did want to ask a question, Ryan. You said that you saw the line go down a little bit. What's your guys' take on? Okay, so for example, on Thursday night, I had JMO and CD Lamb as my 2 system plays for the game. And an hour or so before the game, so JMO was at 81.5. And then when they declared Amon Ra active, JMO's line went down to 68.5. Do you guys ever double bet in those situations? Because I sure as shit do.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Not only do I double bet, I'll generally when I'm getting an extra 20 yards like that, I'm throwing an extra like double the bet I would have on the first bet. Just
Okay.
as a edge.
Okay. That makes sense. Because
Yeah.
it was
That way if only one of them hits, I'm still kind of covered in like getting the profit I should have. And if they both hit, I'm just cooking.
Sure. Okay. So yeah, I have real quick, I have Justin Jefferson at 63.5. I mean, second best separated in the league against cover 3, second best separated in the league against cover 2. Combined between those 2 coverages, he'll be going against that coverage about 44% of the time. Look, man, I'm not going to question the system. The system's the system. It is what it is. I can't, adjust it to my liking. But I'm really hoping that this is, I'm going to steal a phrase here from Fantasy Points Data, a generationally buy low opportunity.
That's exactly how I'm looking at
Sure.
it. Like I'm going to have one JJ McCarthy stack in DFS, and the reason I'm going to is because right now Washington on the season their quarterbacks they're giving up 8.66 yards per pass attempt to quarterbacks. Over the last 4 weeks, that number is 8.12. You want to look at their receivers over the last 4 weeks to wide receivers lined out wide. You're giving up 10.5 yards per target. I mean, like they're bad. Washington
And
is arguably the worst defense in football right now, especially
up
over
there.
the last 4 weeks.
It's up there.
So
I did want to point out since week 7, Justin Jefferson has 63 targets, second most in football.
yeah, you
And
just have to hope that JJ McCarthy gets lucky and completes a couple of more passes than he has been.
he has less receiving yards since week 7 than Dalton Schultz.
Good God. To be fair, Dalton Schultz has been cooking.
He also has less receiving yards than Colston Loveland.
Well, Colston Loveland, that's just because Colston Loveland's a dog.
Like I said on the podcast last night, his mom didn't have to do a gender reveal because she knew he was him, even as a fetus. All right, so yeah, that's my third top 5 bet of the week. Waleed, hit us.
So my third bet is Tony's first bet of the week. Jackson Smith and Jigba over 95.5 receiving yards. I don't even need to explain it. He might break the single season receiving. Frankly, he had a bad week last week. That makes me feel better about this because, like, I was waiting for that down week from JSN. I knew it was coming. Now that it's happened, I'm just going to ride with JSN.
Rocking. I love it. And, well, that's the thing. Last week, Waleed messaged me before the games and was like, is JSN not on your system this week? And I was like, he's not.
Yeah.
And who's to say if Max Brosmer didn't become Will Levis if that would have still been the case. But like, it still should be said, like, he wasn't a system hit last week and he didn't hit. So
Yeah.
hopefully him
Also,
being the best play. So.
Minnesota did their damnedest to make sure JSN didn't beat them. The problem was
Max Brosmer.
It was Max Brosmer who was beating them.
Yeah, dude, that was. I cannot believe that I invested as much time into DFS last week as I did, and still didn't put Seattle's defense anywhere.
Well, Seattle was like the most expensive defense, and generally that's the position you're going to punt. But also, like, I kind of look at that and I'm like, I should have had at least one. I had 0 Seattle, and that was a mistake.
Yep. All right, Ryan, hit us with your third bet of the week.
Guys, this week, up against a porous Tennessee defense, we've got the Cleveland Browns. So I'm going with Harold Fannon's over 3.5 receptions at -130. Guys, this is going to happen. Over the last 7 games, Fannon is averaging 6.57 targets per game. On the year, he's averaging 6.17 targets per game. Through 12 games, he has only had 2 weeks where he has had under 5 targets, and both of those games he had 4. 3.5 receptions is a low line for him. Njoku's, I don't know, maybe he's playing hurt, but he's just been written out of this offense. It's the Harold Fannin show. I know I really do like Judkins this week. He would be like, if we did a top 6 or 7 bets, he would be one of them. I do like Judkins this week as well, but Harold Fannon's going to have a good safety valve for Shadur this week. So Harold Fannon over 3.5 receptions.
I like it. It's God. Harold Fannon's like the biggest like PPR scam fantasy player in the NFL this year, man. every game is like 4 catches for 26 yards.
It's really not though. If you go look at the numbers, like,
well, that's the thing. It's depending on who the quarterback's been, right?
Right, yeah. Right, true.
Because he's played for 3 quarterbacks, which I think should not be understated.
True.
All right. So let's move on. My fourth bet of the week. These are my first. I only have 2 non-system bets this week, and I'm going to stick with the receiving lines, and I'm going to go with Rashee Rice over 69.5 receiving yards.
Nice.
Dude, he's had like 6 catches in 5 of his first 6 back. Let's see, receivers aligned in the slot. Houston gives up the 10th most receiving yards per game and the 10th most yards per route run. Khalil Shakir went 8 for 110 in this matchup 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And by the way, he's only played 6 games and he's 4th in targets via the screen pass.
Okay.
And it's too bad that he's not on the main slate, because I'll tell you what, even though, like I said, he didn't play the first 4 games of the year, he is 2nd in the NFL in targets inside the 10 behind Devontae Adams.
Okay.
They're going to force feed him the ball. I don't know if you saw this, I think 3 Chiefs offensive linemen are out this week. Mm-hmm. So I see a lot of short passes in their future. I see Rashee Rice making a lot of stuff work after the catch. And so my 4th top 5 bet of the week this week is Rashee Rice over 69.5 receiving yards. Waleed?
Nice.
My 4th bet of the week, Tyler Warren over 52.5 receiving yards. You know what? He's just. This is a Tyler Warren week. I'm not going to give you reasons. I can't.
No, dude.
I had written down.
No, it is a Tyler Warren week. We'll talk about this more. Don't want to spoil it during our DFS stuff, but like, this should be a spot for Tyler Warren to crush. Let's see. Jacksonville, 4th most receiving yards per game, 2nd most receptions allowed per game to tight ends. Even on a bad week for McBride, he went 9 for 79. So Jaguars play single high, like less than the league average, bottom 10. So even though Pierce and Pittman, it would lean towards Pittman. At the same time, the Jaguars have allowed the 2nd most schedule adjusted fantasy points per game to tight ends who are not on the line, who are lined up in the slot.
Okay.
And Tyler Warren has been in line on under 30% of his routes in the last 4 weeks. So Josh Downs is hurt. I think this is a huge smash Tyler Warren week. If you're not, if your DFS builds are inclined to be, hey, I can't afford McBride, I'm telling you, unless you're going to go to Harold Fannin, bottom basement, Zach Ertz type stuff,
Yeah.
I think Tyler Warren, this is a Tyler Warren week for sure.
Okay.
All right, Ryan, tell us your fourth.
My fourth bet this week, guys. Guys, facts are facts, and Seattle this year has the best record against the spread on the season. They're 9-3 against the spread. So I'm going with Seattle minus 6.5. They're easily going to win by a touchdown or more. So, against Atlanta, I like Sam Darnold. I like JSN. I like Walker this week. I think Seattle's defense is going to cook after kind of taking a backseat last week.
How do you feel about AJ Barner?
Shut up.
I think he's good for a touchdown. Maybe 2.
He's
I
going
love
to get
AJ Barner is my guy. I keep getting grief because, like, the Discord has not let me live down that all I said was that AJ Barner could finish his tight end 12, which is not that impressive. But I also said that I liked him more than Mason Taylor, and since I made that statement,
Sure, yeah.
I've been very right. But people keep bringing up AJ Barner like they're making fun of me. I'm like, all you're doing is proving my point that, like, yeah, I said this and I was right.
Don't ever let anyone get you down for your thoughts on tight ends.
Hey,
Yeah, that's words of wisdom from Ryan right there.
That's right.
I got the tight end whisperer seal of approval.
That's right.
I will tell you right now, as of this current moment, Waleed,
Yeah.
do you want to guess AJ Barner's tight end rank in fantasy points per game, not total, fantasy points per game?
15?
22.
Ooh, he was like 15 like a couple of weeks ago. He must have had some down weeks.
However, Mason Taylor, 32.
Yep.
So technically,
Yeah.
Waleed, half credit.
And this is the fallacy that for some reason with tight ends, everyone falls into when they're like, he's a floor play. You don't ever play floor plays because when you're playing a guy who's a floor play, their floor is 0. If that's what you're looking for,
Correct.
that's what you're actually like putting yourself in. Always play for ceiling. And a tight end on a good scoring offense, worth his weight in gold, especially when he's cheap.
All right, so my last top 5 bet of the week is Devon Achane over 78.5 rushing yards. I don't know if you guys know, but over the last month, for some reason, the Dolphins are just pounding the rock.
They're 4 out of 5 in their last games?
I believe those two things are not correlated. Achane has had 120 or more rushing yards in 3 straight games.
Yeah.
By the way.
You don't think it's correlated that Achane's been cooking and they're winning games?
Correct.
I feel like it absolutely is.
So, he is always going to be top 4 in DFS. But this week, in terms of his yardage, he's second in the league in yards before contact per attempt, third in yards per carry, first in explosive rush rate, and Jets have given up over 100 rushing yards a game. So, Bijan went off last week. Achane's going to go off this week. So, my last top 5 bet of the week, Devon Achane over 78.5.
Achane was one of those guys at the beginning of the week before a lot of the full data came out. I was all about Achane and Cook were the top 2 guys that I was really eyeing. I'm like, these matchups are just absolute fire. Unfortunately, it's hard to get both of them in a lineup without sacrificing somewhere else.
Correct. All right, Wally, what do you got?
Well, my no Marvin Harrison Jr. means Michael Wilson over 66.5 receiving yards feels like a really good bet. Jacoby Brissett is passing at the highest rate in the league since he came in. He's just throwing the ball. No Dortch, no Marvin Harrison Jr. means Wilson and McBride both should cook this week.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I was going to ask you something relevant, but it's probably not anymore. All right, cool. Ryan, let me get your last top 5 bet of the week.
Guys, this may be a first historically for this show. I'm taking an under this week. All right. Yes. I'm taking the under Jonathan Taylor 93.5 rush yards. Not only because there's expected to be about an inch of rain falling tomorrow during this game. It's going to make it slippery. But Jonathan Taylor historically does not do well against the Jaguars in Jacksonville. All right. Let's look at his numbers when they played Jacksonville in Indianapolis. All right, guys. He's pretty good when he's at home. In a 3-game sample size, Jonathan Taylor has 546 yards and 4 touchdowns in Indianapolis. But guys, this year, Jacksonville's defense is only allowing 82.4 rush yards per game. And Jonathan Taylor in Jacksonville in a 4-game sample size has only 172 rush yards and 0 touchdowns. So,
That's yeah.
Jonathan Taylor under 93.5 rush yards.
I think it's crazy, but I also get your logic.
No, I like it. I mean, if you're gonna take an under, might as well be on a guy who's got a line of over 90.
Yeah,
Right.
that I dig.
Exactly. And in a game where I'm thinking that Jacksonville's going to win, not necessarily by a blowout, I'm thinking they're going to win. If they win, that means Indianapolis is going to have to pass more than they're going to have to run. So,
Sure. Okay. All right. So those are our top 5 bets of the week. I do remember what I was going to ask you guys earlier. What team is Kyler Murray starting for next year?
Jets.
Atlanta.
And I'm going to go with the Minnesota Vikings.
I'm going to go with
Okay.
Cleveland.
Where does
God.
JJ McCarthy go to back up then? Or is he just now the backup in Minnesota?
The XFL.
Shit, damn.
Where does 9
Damn,
go
that-
though?
He can't even sidestep to the CFL. He's got to go
No.
straight down to the XFL.
9's going to Canada. JJ McCarthy's going
He's
to
on a
the
rookie.
XFL.
Okay, I was gonna say he's
Court-
on a rookie contract. He's not going anywhere except the bench.
He's going
That's
to
true.
quarterbacks coach back at Michigan.
They're gonna trade him for Josh Dobbs straight up. All right, so let's talk parlays. I'm gonna go with my 2 parlays here real quick. Fired off a 4-team money line parlay. I have 3 heavy favorites in the Seahawks, Bucks, and Rams, and then I took the Houston Texans to upset on Sunday night, and that got me plus 405. Hung 10 on it to bring me back 51. And then I have an adjusted rushing line parlay, 3 legs. James Cook over 80, Devon Achane over 80, Quinshon Judkins over 80. That got me up to plus 314 for 41.36. Ryan, what are your parlays?
This week, guys, I went with 3 heavy favorites, and then in over for my money line, I went with Seattle, Tampa, and Denver, and then I took the over on the Rams-Arizona game at 47.5. I think this game's going to be a shootout. And guys, let's see, Cardinals are 14-6 against the spread in their past 20 games as underdogs, and they've got Brissett throwing the rock, and we've seen just what happened to the Rams last week, losing to Carolina, that teams can put up points on them, even when they're statistically not the best offenses. So I think this game's going to be a shootout, and I think it ends up being somewhat similar to last week's game, 31-28, something like that. But this over is going to hit. So that gave me plus 265 odds. I put 10 down to win 32.65. Seattle, Tampa, Denver, and the over on the Rams game. And then I went with a 5-leg parlay, which is all adjusted lines. So a lot of these lines are like minus 200 or worse. But I got 500 odds on what I said was going to be the shootout game. I took Brissett and Stafford's adjusted passing yards over a 225 plus for both of them. I went with an Adams touchdown. I went with McBride adjusted 60 plus receiving yards, and Michael Wilson's over 5.5 receptions. That gave me 502 odds. I put 5 on that to win a little over 30.
Okay.
I want to point out that I showed this to the side to the guys. Ryan's like money line parlay. I have a counter parlay because he's got Denver and Tampa Bay. I actually took.
Hold on, Wally. We got a advisory warning. This
Yeah, we don't want
bet
to scare anybody off. We
this-
have a
this-
content warning.
this bet is too hot for TV. So if you have any betting minors at home,
Yeah,
cover their ears.
I want to point out this is in no way a smart bet. Sometimes you just want to do something for fun, but I'll be honest. This feels like a game where Bucks
we at
and Broncos could both drop.
Gambletown. We at Gambletown, a subsidiary of Netflix Entertainment, do not condone this next bet by Wally Dismail.
Can I just tell him the dumb bet, then you can tell them why I'm dumb? No, but I did the Saints money line, the Titans money line, and the Raiders money line to beat the Browns, Bucks, and Denver Broncos. You get plus 4,954.
Yeah, $1.
$5 will pay you $252.72.
$252 million.
I would like to. I would like to.
No.
I would like to bring a new title to Gambletown, and it'll be the Golf League King, where like the most money spent with least amount of return in the week.
I was gonna say
I was gonna say degenerate bet. Let's do something for next year. We'll do a degenerate bet. It has to be a 4-leg parlay.
4-leg degenerate
with like plus 5,000 odds or better.
50 cents gets me $500.
I love
right,
that. Bro.
Exactly. Yeah.
You
never know. You never know.
Always fun to do. Is like I'm gonna throw a nickel on this, and let's see if I can win $1,000.
Yeah, you see all that bullshit all the time. People posting on Twitter and shit. I bet $2 and I won 50,000 or whatever.
Yeah.
I wish that FanDuel or DraftKings or wherever you're betting gave you odds that like you could get a little bit of your money back if all three are wrong. like a minor, like chin up, kid. Here's $5.
If the odds are plus 5,000 or better, we'll give you 25% of your money back.
Yeah, just because we feel bad for you.
Yeah.
And by the way, thank you for those of you who hid your underage gamblers' ears from this portion of the show, but now you can uncover them just in time to tell them that they should follow our THfantaC link on Betstamp so we can get their referral money.
Yeah. They're not gonna pay for those Pokemon cards. They're not gonna pay for those Pokemon cards by themselves, you know?
Exactly. All right, so Ryan, those are your parlays. Wally, can we get your 2 parlays for the week?
All right, my first one, going with my wide receiver guy, like my top wide receiver of the week is JSN. Over 91.5 receiving yards, over 6.5 receptions, and a JSN touchdown. $5 at plus 234 equals $16.74. Honestly, the fact that I'm getting 91.5 on JSN feels like I'm getting him so cheap. Like, I think last week actually lowered his price just a little bit, and I'm here for it.
Sure.
But this next one I had a little fun with because I got a touchdown parlay boost on DraftKings, so I used that. I'm going Josh Jacobs touchdown, Michael Wilson touchdown, and Tyler Warren touchdown. $5 bet at plus 1211, pay $65.55.
That's nice.
That's
a lot.
These are all guys who like project to have really big games. I might as well see if they can get into the end zone.
Sure. I meant to say this earlier for Ryan's parlay, the Arizona Rams game, 47.5. This is the most backdoor parlay matchup I could even fucking humanly imagine.
Oh, sure.
Like the Rams go up, 28-0, and the Cardinals score 24 points in the fourth quarter.
Exactly.
Right. Yep.
So, all right. So, Waleed, the Lord and Savior of Gambletown, tell us your millionaire bet this week.
All right. Like, first off, I just want to say something to Vegas. What the fuck? Bears minus 6.5, the number one team in the NFC. I can't, do you know how long it's been
since
6.5? Yeah, minus 6.5. The Bears are, I'm talking about, I'm not telling my bet. I'm talking about what the actual line is. The Bears are minus 6.5 right now against the Packers. Do you know how long it's been since a number one team has been a touchdown dog at this point in the season?
Yeah, but you're saying minus.
The Bears are plus 6.5.
They're plus
Oh,
6.
plus 6. Oh, you're right. Plus 6.5. I'm sorry. You're right. I am saying it wrong.
I remember my first episode of going to Gambletown.
I'm sorry. I'm so angry. I can't see pluses and minuses.
I was like, you could get probably plus 1,200 odds on -6.5 right now.
You could, but I'm going to be a little conservative. I'm going Bears -3.5 because I'm going to bet on the number 1 team in the NFC winning their game.
That's right.
Winning by a little bit more than a field goal. I get plus 430 on that, so a $10 bet will pay me $53. I feel like this is one of those where I understand. Like, look, if the Packers were 3-point favorites, I would get it. But a touchdown after the ass whooping they laid on the Eagles, that just feels disrespectful. And sure. I feel like the Bears are going to come out angry.
Not as angry as Micah Parsons, who said that the Bears, a team that he hasn't played yet this year, has been disrespectful to the Packers. So he's going to be real mad about it.
Yeah, he feels like they're not showing any respect.
Wait until he plays in the cold for the first time.
And you know what? And let's be honest. If there's one thing Micah Parsons knows about, it's being respectful to others, especially teammates in college.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Okay, so I'm gonna ramble when I do mine for a little bit. So Ryan, can you tell us your millionaire bet?
I took one of my top 5 bets and I adjusted it up a little bit. To go along with my narrative that Chase Brown has 6 straight games with 100+ scrimmage yards. And remember I said the Bills are giving up the 3rd most rush yards per game to running backs. So I took the adjusted 100+ rushing and receiving at 265 to win. So I'm starting back fresh with $10, so that'll bring me 32.65.
Okay. So let me just talk real quick about cover 0 coverage, which is when there's no safety involved. It's called the zero blitz, and how the Rams have approached it schematically. The Cardinals, when they're playing inside their own 10-yard line, use it at the 8th highest rate in the league. They use it 30% of the time. All right. 7 of Davante Adams' 14 touchdowns this year have come against cover 0. He leads the entire NFL in target share against cover 0, 53.8%.
Okay.
And the Rams have only faced 3 of the top 12 teams by cover 0 rate inside the 10 this year. Saints, Jaguars, Eagles. Again, in those 3 games, Davante Adams has 6 receiving touchdowns. And in his other games, aside from the Saints, Jaguars, and Eagles games, Davante Adams is averaging 0.9 touchdowns. So this is where it's at. The Cardinals allow the 4th highest touchdown rate in the NFL on pass attempts inside the 10. I talked earlier about Rashee Rice and Davante Adams being the top 2 target earners inside the opposing 10. So Davante Adams' 2 touchdown bet this week is my millionaire bet. I got it at plus 390. Hung 10 on it to bring me back 49. And I'm not going to list him in my DFS plays, but he's going to be in every single one of them, just so you know.
As he should be. Honestly, I'm looking at that. I'm like, after you gave that breakdown, I'm like, I might make a Davante Adams free touchdown bet just because.
Yeah, I mean they have a market for it because he's killing it. So all right, cool. So those are our bets of the week. So we're gonna bring in super producer Josh to build our DFS lineups. I looked at our 5 last week that we each had, and Ryan's performed the best. So I'm gonna have Ryan go first this week. Ryan, who's your quarterback?
This week, guys, I'm going in the middle. I'm going with Jacoby Brissett. Most likely, Arizona's going to have to pass in this game. So,
I mean, Jacoby Brissett should just, we keep saying, yeah, but how long is he going to keep it up? And I'm of the mindset that until Jacoby Brissett doesn't finish top 10 in fantasy, I'm going to ride that horse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful.
In
All right, Josh.
In a potential shootout matchup. Sorry.
I'm going with Sam Darnold this week, everybody.
Okay. Waleed?
So I've been talking about this in the Discord for a bit here. My favorite play, I'm going real cheap on my quarterback. I want Tyler Shuck. The Bucks are giving up a ton of passing yards at quarterback. They're you can pass on the Bucks, and Tyler Shuck has not been that bad, actually. He's not great, but he's been serviceable, and they've been putting up he's been getting better and better. That Saints offense has been looking better and better, and I think he's a solid play.
Yeah, I don't think the
Especially-
Saints
and
are
it-
as
and it-
cooked as we thought they were going into the
And-
year.
I'll low key, Kellen Moore. Like, I know that the team sucks, but if you look at the cap management and the roster that he's had to deal with, he's looking like a really good coach. And I think like in 2 years, we're going to be looking at that team as like once they get out of some of the dead money and the bad like cap situation they're in, the Saints are going to be like a team that's ascending.
Yeah, I totally get it. I'm probably accepting defeat on my season-long prop of the Saints having the worst pick in football or the lowest record in football. I mean,
You underestimated the Titans.
still only. I mean, there's a log jam, right? There's like 4 teams that are 2-10, and then the Titans are 1-15. However, my bets on the Saints to go under 5.5 wins on the season still looks pretty live. So thank you, Spencer Rattler. All right, and then my quarterback is not surprising anybody is Matthew Stafford.
Yep, good one.
Just think he's. I mean, like, I know the thing about non-running quarterbacks in DFS is you're like, well, they got to throw 3 touchdowns. Well, have you met Matthew Stafford?
Yeah.
Like that's fine. He'll throw 4.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. All right, Ryan, your running back play of the week.
I'm sticking with my bets. I'm gonna try to get James Cook in a lot of them, but I'm going with Chase Brown in this lineup, in the DK lineup this week.
Fuck Samaje P. Ryan. All right, Josh, your running back.
I'm going with the return of my favorite running back. I'm glad he's back, Bucky Irving.
Okay.
Okay.
Bucky Irving.
Good.
He's
Orleans.
the guy I have slated for a lot. Like I have my list of running backs that I'm going to be making sure they're in most of my lineups. Bucky Irving's near the top of my list after I get past my elite guys. But as much as I like Bucky Irving, because I assume I'm next,
You are.
James Cook, man, this is a James Cook week. He's my number 1 running back on the week, so I'm paying up for him. Like I paid on for Tyler Shuck to make sure I can get James Cook here. I need him everywhere.
Okay. Clip that. And my running back play of the week, I actually was just gonna say Quinshon Judkins because nobody. I just didn't assume Devon Achane would be here, so I am actually just gonna go with Devon Achane.
Yeah.
Okay.
This could. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
it's a toss up for Judkins and Chase Brown for me, but
In DFS this week, this is a week where I'm going to be, and I said it last week, where I think like the rest of the season as the weather gets bad, I'm looking at the running back value, and I like it so much more than I like the wide receiver value. So I'm paying up for running back just about everywhere. I want those high end guys, and I'm just going to find value for wide receivers.
can I just point out too that like Achane had like 24 fantasy points last week, but also was stopped on the 1-yard line twice in one drive and was missed by Tua on a pass that would have been a long touchdown. So like
It's almost like he's really small.
and really fast. So
So good.
Devon Achane's my running back. Ryan, who's your wide receiver?
guys, this week I'm gonna since I've got some decent priced running backs and Brissett's in the middle, and I'm gonna be paying up at tight end because of who Brissett's with. I'm gonna go with DJ Moore because Odunze is out.
I like it.
He's cheap.
Yeah, DJ Moore is like he's a great value with the Dunze out. The pricing on Bears receivers makes him a lot more valuable.
Yeah, and you can do a lot more passing against Green Bay than you can running, and more than likely Bears are gonna have to pass to win this game. So
yeah, I vibe with that. Josh, your wide receiver
That's
play.
what we thought about the Eagles.
Sure.
My wide
Eagles,
receiver play is actually the other end of that. I paid down and got his running mate, Ryan, and I got Luther Burden for
We got
1,000
Burden.
cheaper.
he's at 3,800. Holy crap!
3,800. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful.
Well, we'll see in tomorrow's matchup.
Okay.
You guys could both be right.
It's true. I would
probably.
be nice.
I hope that'd be great.
Hey, I have Bears -3.5, so I think you both are going.
Okay. All right. Waleed, your receiver.
Number 1 value wide receiver on the week, Michael Wilson. I want him at 5,600.
Sure.
I think his ceiling at that price is the highest that there is, and I want that value.
Makes sense to me. All right, cool. My wide receiver, like, I stumped pretty hard for this last night when we were recording the pod for our DFS lineup, and I ended up getting it. So praise Ja. My DFS play this week is Christian Watson.
Yeah, he's a great value play this week.
Bears allow
Okay.
the 5th most DraftKings fantasy points per game to opposing wide receivers 1. Bears have allowed the 5th most receiving yards per game on deep throws, traveling 20 or more yards downfield. Watson leads the NFL in catchable deep targets per game.
Damn.
Nice.
Jordan
I'm
Love.
surprised I thought you were going to go Devontae Adams here, honestly.
Like I said, I'm going to be pairing, like, most of my pairs this week are going to be like, who do I got to pay down at to get Achane for my other running back, and then who do I have to pay down at wide receiver to get Devontae? So I'm probably going to tier it like Devontae, Watson, and then like Devon Vele, probably, to try to save a little salary there, and then end up punting, tight end and defense where I can. So, all right, Ryan, your tight end of the week.
With this lineup this week, guys, I'm paying up and I'm going with the reception monster. I'm going with Trey McBride to go with Brissett.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought for sure you were going with Brenton Strange here.
No, I debated going Michael Wilson over McBride, but I'm going with McBride.
Okay.
I mean, you're paying down.
Otherwise, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, putting Trey McBride in your lineup is never the wrong decision.
Right. You could do a if you guys wanted to do a variation where you do pair Brissett with Michael Wilson, then you could pay down at tight end and be one of my tight ends of the week, guys. And that was either Harold Fannin, Zach Ertz, or Brenton Strange.
Well, truth be told, if I have Jacoby Brissett, I'm going to have both of those guys in anyway when I'm doing a build.
Sure.
Can I point out really quick, if we use DraftKings scoring, I just wanted to say this out loud.
Yeah.
This is fantasy points data. Since week 7, McBride is ahead of every wide receiver in fantasy points per game. He's averaging 1.6 fantasy points per game more than JSN.
Yeah.
And he's cheaper.
So right now, also his salary, he is like he's more expensive than Devontae Adams, the number 4 receiver. He is like the most expensive guy in fantasy and at his position, and he should be because he's also the best.
Correct.
Yep.
All right, Josh, you got a tight end.
All right, at tight end, I have Harold Fannin Jr.
Nice.
Very good.
Nice.
Very good play. He was the guy I had pinned in here for a little bit, and then I realized that I'm putting Juwan Johnson in here. Juwan Johnson actually has a really good matchup too for a passing game, and I want to pair him with Chuck.
That's a major. That's GPP shit all day. That's big tourney shit all day.
Well, that's what I'm doing. This is
Right.
when I'm giving you my plays, I'm playing them like when we have the football absurdity group thing. Which, by the way, guys, if you're in our Discord, you're free to join us. We do our tournaments. Every pick that I make is always in my football absurdity lineup, and lately they've been killing it.
Mine
Yeah.
too.
Absolutely. Okay. And then my tight end is Tyler Warren. And
Okay.
if my build is prohibitive towards Tyler Warren, then I just go Brenton Strange as my pivot.
100%
Okay.
agree.
All right, Ryan, tell us your defense of the week.
I'm paying up a little bit this week. I'm going with a top 5 defense, and I'm going with Cleveland against Tennessee.
Okay.
Cleveland's a great pick at defense.
Hey man,
they project to be one of the best.
They give up what the what's his face? Cam Ward is like the most sacked quarterback in
Right.
football, and like Myles Garrett.
He's gonna break the sack record this week.
Yeah,
This-
which by the
what is
way,
that?
if you guys haven't been following, the record is 22.5, and Myles Garrett has 19 already.
Yeah.
Like he's absolutely wrecking it.
And there's still 5 games left.
Yep. And I just want to know what the new sack record is going to be after this game because I'm telling you right now, he's going to have 3 sacks this game. I'm actually when I get to the casino later this afternoon, I'm looking for Myles Garrett like 2+ sacks, 3+ sacks line, and I'm betting those because,
Sure.
like, when you got an offensive line that bad against a man who's also that bad in a very different use of the word bad, it's gonna be ugly for Chase Brown, for Cam Ward. Who knew, by the way, Cam of all the quarterbacks drafted, the number one guy would be by far the worst quarterback that we've seen.
Right.
I think they got some stuff to build on there. I'm hoping that they build around Cam Ward because he's flashed.
He has, and like to be fair, he has been put in an untenable situation. It's not fair to him what has been done to him.
Right.
So, like, what we got to do here is you get that number 1 overall pick. You trade down with the Jets and have like a bunch of firsts going forward. Like but it's what the Bears did, and look at where they are now.
Yeah, it's true. By the way, so sacks, they use 0.3 as their hook because they do half sacks.
Right.
Yeah.
You can get Myles Garrett at 1.3 at -121 on DraftKings.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I don't see any adjusted lines for like 2, 3, but -121 on DK for him to get at least 1.5.
Okay.
All right,
Feels like a good price.
Josh, can I get your defense?
I'm going to go a little spicy pick on defense, and I'm going to go the Washington Commanders against 9 this weekend.
I absolutely love that.
Okay.
You're because all you're doing is you're betting on JJ McCarthy. You being JJ McCarthy. That's not a bad bet at that price.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you're betting against one of the worst quarterbacks of football. So, all right, Waleed, your defense. The guy with the defensive streamer system. What do you got this week?
Well, actually, isn't it Ryan's turn?
No,
I
Ryan.
did Cleveland.
Oh, you did do Cleveland. My bad. Well, here's the thing. I have my defensive streamer system, but the way I've built my team that's going to be going in there, this is my punts defense of the week that I'm using, and it's the New Orleans Saints against the Bucks. Saints have been like sneakily like they're not going to win you. They're not going to win you games because their defense is good, but so far they're not losing you games either, and that's fine if you want to pay up in other spots. And the way I'm building my lineups, I'm going to be paying up in other spots. Like I said, I want to pay up for running back this week, and that's going to mean going cheap on defense in a lot of spots. And if you're looking for the punt defense, I think the Saints are the best one at their price point.
Okay. And I'm getting real fucking slappy with it, boys. And I am taking the Las Vegas Raiders against the Broncos.
I'll be honest. That's
All
my
gas,
number 2
literally
punt
no
defense.
brakes. All gas, literally no
No.
brakes.
Look, I'm telling you, man. Like, how many games has the Broncos won in a row? Like 5, 6?
Yeah.
Some obscene number. But
6,
here's
7.
the thing: their offense has not looked good, and they've been beating up on people who just aren't really that good along the stretch. I could easily see Max Crosby just wrecking bone next year, getting you good production. And
Crosby's
like, at
out.
2000,
No, he's
Crosby's out?
I thought he was out earlier, and then the last I looked before I put this together, he was questionable.
Yeah.
Oh, that might be more up to date than
If
what I've got.
Here's the deal, and I'll say this right now: if Crosby does not play, I'm gonna pivot, and I'll pay the extra $900 to move up to Tennessee.
That's another one that I like is pivot. Yeah, the newest report says that they expect him to play in the upcoming Week 14 game against the Broncos, despite missing practices. Like they weren't letting him play because it's they just wanted to rest him for the game, is what they're kind of saying. So hopefully that's the case.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let's hope so.
Yeah.
So we'll see. That's expected to play. So
As of 16 hours ago. So yeah, that's more up to date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see, but I like that as a punt because they're the cheapest defense on the slate, 2,000. And
Yeah.
if I'm looking to save money, honestly, a Brenton Strange Las Vegas would be really nice if I'm trying to get 2 out of Judkins, Cook, and Achane, and then still grab Devontae Adams and Matthew Stafford.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you right now, me going with the Saints is giving me Cook, Achane, and Brees Hall.
You love to see it.
Yeah, it's punt and defense is the play this week, I think, and tight end.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're going McBride, right? Like that's the only other
Yeah.
reason why you do it. All right, cool. Well, that's week 14, guys. So that means that we've only got a few more weeks left of our fun that we have. Let's go out there and win some money, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Winning's cool. We like it.
Winning is fun, and fun is winning.
Compared to
Big
last
fan.
week's slate, this one's a lot. There are a lot more splash games, a lot of more boom games on the slate this week. So
This slate feels a lot better. Like the problem was last week's slate, all the good games were on Thursday and Friday.
Yeah, yeah.
That's very true. It's very true. All right, well then, guys, go out there and win some money for us, and
Yeah.
we'll see you guys next week to celebrate.
all right.
Just remember, guys, the gambling is never a problem if you're winning.
God bless.
Love it, guys. Let's go get those monocles.
Also start them early, start them often on those kids. Just don't let them listen to Waleed.
Betstamp.com/THfantaC.
For kids.